Peace. This is Edip. It is 23rd July 2020. The camera is a little bit up. When I look at the screen, you will not see my eyes. Well, I couldn't solve this problem. Now, today we'll do something interesting. Together we will check the word AQL both in the Quran and in Bukhari. AQL means reasoning, the act of reasoning. It is always verb because it is a process of connecting the premises to reach a valid conclusion, hopefully a sound conclusion. If the premise is true, the conclusion must be true. This is the definition of valid argument. In a valid argument, if premises are true, the conclusion must be true. Premises, minimum 2 premises we need. Sometimes if you use one premise, there is an implied premise. Therefore, you need at least 2 points in order to connect them to reach the 3rd point, which is the conclusion. There are 19 rules of inference. I've been teaching for 20 years, and it is the most important chapters in my logic textbook. Here it is. Let me show you here. Logic, copies book, and I have many of these. And here it is, 19 rules of inference. It's so important that there's 19 of them are here. You can, if you are curious, you can look at it, okay? And there are 9 of them main rules, and then 10 of them rules of replacement. These are older copies. I have many of them all around here. Therefore, okay. Now, it is important. The reason is very important. You know, Bukhari, the Hadith books are very different from the Quran. For example, you don't find a single verse in the Quran how to clean your buttock after going to restroom, but Hadith books have full chapters. One of the longest chapters is Tahara, how to clean your buttock. Even how many stones to use, whether pee while standing, while sitting. The teaching of the Quran is very different than the teaching of Hadith, because Hadiths were fabricated by ignorant people, by polytheists, by people with certain agendas, or people who wanted to manufacture Hadiths in order to please a leader or to promote certain policies, or to basically take people's right, to promote Arab nationalism, to promote one sultan to be a Mahdi, or even sometimes to advertise a product like Ajwa date, or to reflect their own fears like kill all the black dogs, or their scruples, or their stupidity, their superstitions, filled with, or their psychopath, like stoning people to death, or so many. And please check Manifesto for Islamic Reform, which is available for free. I don't make money from my books on religion. Also, Quran Reformist Translation. Both of them are available for free on PDF. Also, you can see them on apps. I hope that they will have the most recent versions, because it is a continuous task of correcting. We notice errors. It is work in process. And hopefully I invite you guys, if you have very good English, I would like to go over the Quran Reformist Translation. We need to revise the language. The language has some problem. We need to improve the language, because I was trying to make it close to literally close to the Arabic. Meanwhile, you lose the fluency of the language. Okay, let's see. First, open the Quran. I'm going to use Quranics. Is the website that I had it, but now someone, a friend of mine, is running I hope that he will update. Okay, let me go put the word AQL. I can easily retrieve from here. Instead of typing, I don't have Arabic keyboard here, therefore I can use this one. Let me see here. Here it is. I hate this one. وما كان لنفس أن تؤمن إلا بإذن الله ويجعل الرجس على الذين لا يعقلون. ويجعل الرجس على الذين لا يعقلون. Here is from our translation. It is not for a person to acknowledge except by God's leave. And there is God's law there. If a person's intention is not pure, that person will not witness the signs of God. Therefore, you need to have a pure intention. Seek the truth only, not try to please yourself, please the crowds, to gain some worldly life and the praises of other people. If you have such an intention, you will not be able to really witness the truth. You should be able to give up from anything, risk everything to attain truth. Truth is the attribute of God. Therefore, if you don't have pure intention, you will not be understanding the Quran. The Quran itself says, لا يمسه إلا المطهرون. Only pure people can understand it. Interestingly, those people who are impure, they don't understand the very verses about understanding the Quran. For example, they misunderstand these ones, Sunnis and Shiites. They think, oh, purity means take ablution. Therefore, you cannot touch the Quran, which they confuse it with Mus'haf, the manuscript. You cannot touch it if you don't have ablution. Or women, if menstruating, cannot touch the Quran or Mus'haf, which is absolutely misunderstanding this verse. It has nothing to do about about ablution. It's about purity of mind. Well, many people without ablution, they can touch the Quran, but the Quran says that they cannot touch. Well, according to them, it is falsified millions of times. But it is about mental purity. But because it is talking about a divisive, many very interesting, miraculous examples of the Quran, like the verse about mutashabi, I think chapter 3, verse 7. That the very verse they misunderstand, they don't understand, and they say no one can understand mutashabih. Well, what is the purpose? It is in the Quran, bayan linnas. Anyway, I am a little bit going all over. Let's see. And illa biznillah wa yaj'alu rijsa, God casts affliction, problems, rijs, ala alladhina la ya'qilun, loathsome evil. This is translated by Muhammad Asad. Okay, now since we got this one, let's click reset. Come on. Yaqilun. I'm going to click on this watch. It will bring me in this page. Here in this page, wherever the root of aql is, any derivatives from the root aql is mentioned, it will be listed here. How many times is mentioned in the Quran? 49 times. The word aql means reasoning, the act of reasoning. And here it is. Did you bid? Unfortunately, my translation is not brought here. I don't know whose translation is brought here. My friend did it wrong. I expect him to read my translation here. You see, will you not then use your reason? تعقلون. And this is لعلكم تعقلون. ويريكم آياتي لعلكم تعقلون. And God shows the signs so that you might reason. Okay? And then وما عقلوه وهم يعلمون يحرفونه من بعد ما عقلوه وهم يعلمون. They were taken out of the context after understanding it, and they knew knowingly they distort the meaning. Anyway, and أفلا تعقلون, don't you reason? لقوم يعقلون, for the people who reason, who think. This is a good verse. But when they are told, follow what God has bestowed from on high, some answer, nay, we shall follow that which we found our forefathers, Abauna, our ancestors. They were great Muslims, Sunnis, Shiites, Catholics, Hindus. We are going to follow our ancestors, believing and in doing. Why, even if their forefathers did not use their reason at all and were devoid of guidance. And the Quran is very critical of following your forefathers blindly. But unfortunately, today's Sunni and Shias, both of them follow that, and they glorify, they call it taqleed, means like a monkey imitate without reason. This is exactly what is the attribute quality, not quality, very bad word. This is the attribute of mushriks, the idol worshippers, or ignorant or ingrate people. Throughout the Quran, it is criticized. But when you tell them, well, you are the only one who understands this, what about all those people, our ancestor, holy Hazrat, and this, Qaddasallahu Surah al-Aziz, radiyallahu anhu, what about them, Maulana, Sahaba, Tabi'in, they have names, holy names, besides the Quran. When you talk about the Quran or the truth, about science, about a fact, when it contradicts their religion, whatever they memorize, they are taught, instead of reasoning on that, what they do, they say, what about those? This is exactly what throughout history idol worshippers did. Okay. Okay, here is so many. كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته لعلكم تعقلون. And this is how God explains his signs so that you might reason. I don't want to go over here. I want to slowly go down so that you may stop it or slow it down, read it if you are curious about all these verses. I just do it. There are so many verses. Here it is. Subhanallah. All about promoting reasoning. Never in the Quran, reasoning, thinking, using logic never is criticized. But if you listen to priests, mullahs, imams, any kind of monks, any religious merchant, any religious scholar or clergyman, if you question, if you use your reasoning, they will admonish you, they will reprimand you, they will scare you with hell. Don't reason, don't ask. There's nothing about reasoning. This just believe it. And they glorify belief, faith, which is really believing any nonsense, any lies attributed to God or his messenger. That's it. By whom? By the people whose grooming is familiar to them. If you are grown in a Sunni neighborhood and country, you'll be attracted to those with beards, who have turbans on their hair, who have certain mannerism. Whatever they lie, whatever they say in the name of God, how stupid and how contradictory it is, how toxic it is, you will just swallow it. You will accept it on faith as ultimate truth, all the lies. And if you are raised in a Catholic country and they have certain robes, even they have something white color here, I don't know what's called. And then they have different things. They have different hats, ostentatious clothes, certain mannerism, they do smoke and stuff. Interesting. And then since you are familiar with this since childhood, they are acceptable. Whatever they say in the name of God or Jesus, whatever, you will swallow them. If you are raised in India or in Buddhist, they have kind of orange clothes and stuff. They don't have hair and they shave their hair and they have different way of talking and mannerism, and you will listen to their stories about God. In fact, you care less about God. if you are one of those people. If you don't question, you should question most anything told in the name of God or the name of God's messengers. That is the one that you should question, analyze, and demand extraordinary evidence for. But ironically, those statements are the least that you care about whether they are true or not. It shows that you do not have respect for truth. You do not have respect for God at all. All you care to become like a chameleon, change your color according to your environment. Just follow blindly whatever lies they are telling in the name of God. And therefore, temples, churches, and mosques, and synagogues, and all those names, whatever you call them, they are the worst places on earth. They are in the business of manufacturing holy lies in the name of God. The most absurd, the biggest lies, the horrific lies, the better. The most contradictory, the most stupid, because when you enter those places, you put your brain next to your shoes. If you are taking your shoes off by the door, you leave it by the door. Then you go there. You might be very highly educated, very smart person, but you go there, you are conditioned, you are hypnotized. You don't think. When you are hypnotized and under hypnosis, you can be really instructed to do stupid things, to say stupid, to believe things, to forget things. Once I was hypnotized, I wanted to experience it. The hypnotist instructed us while I was a freshman at the university. It was on the stage, thousands of students in auditorium. I was among the few students who were on the stage. I wanted to experience. And I thought I was not influenced, but he made us forget number 5. And then I counted my fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I was shocked. I knew something is missing. This should not be 6. I had that knowledge in me. But he told us before, you will forget number 5. And this is what is done in religions. And it is glorified. Oh, I have faith. What faith? Why do you believe this? Oh, I have faith. Well, you don't have any extraordinary reason for your faith, let alone extraordinary. You don't have even a normal reason, and you are proud of that? That's the most ridiculous thing. Faith is euphemism for what? For joining the closest bandwagon, or the crowdest bandwagon, or the loudest, or the most stupid bandwagon around you. That's it. Therefore, Iman does not mean Iman in Arabic. In English, it is called faith, but it is really distortion of the word. Iman means trust based on evidence, based on proof and evidence. In Arabic, it's called hujjat, bayina, ayah. Anyway, I need it. Okay, here is taqilun aqalaf stuff, and I want you to go stop it. You can push the space bar to stop it. By the way, I know you are curious about this. I want you to see. I got really fatter than I should be. I'm not listening to my wife, who is a dietitian, but this is, I know some of you, if you are Sunni or Shiite or bigot, you will be right now upset because number 19 scares them. Okay, let's, 49 times the word aql, reasoning, is mentioned in the Quran. It doesn't have noun because it is action, always it is verb. Yaqilun, aqala, taqilun. MashaAllah, MashaAllah, so beautiful. Okay, I came to the end. Now, this is in the Quran, always 49 places. It is, means, let's go to here. I have a dictionary. You can see the dictionaries. I wanted to use here is the word aqala. You see reasonable, rational. What is this? Initiative, mental, intellectual, rational, intellectual. And it is usage, and then go back where? uh, opened in any window. And here there are Lane's dictionary, and there are many. There is also Lisan al-Arab here. If you go down in those, you can see many of them. Oh my gosh, why it is so slow? Okay. I had many other. Here is, I have Lisan al-Arab here too. And okay, now, so far so good. Now I want to go here. Now this is Bukhari, Sunnah, Hadith of Prophet Muhammad at your finger, Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. Oh, I did in all of them. Oh, there are so many of them. 6 books, volumes of books. Bukhari, according to Bukhari, he collected the 7,275 hadiths in Sahih al-Bukhari from Ibn Falan, from Abu Falan, hearsay collection. He came about 230 years after Prophet Muhammad, and archaeologically we don't have the original of Bukhari. It's much later. But he was, when we look at his work, he was an idiot. He was the enemy of Prophet Muhammad, because the biggest insults you find in Bukhari or Muslim or Nasai or Dawud, Tirmizi, Ibn Majah, Malik, these are 6 idols of Sunnis. And Shiites, they have their own different idols. They attribute to, they associate as partner with the Quran. And supposedly they complete God's word. God ran out of words, according to them, or the Quran is not mubin as it says, or the Quran is not mufassal, detailed as it says. Quran is not obvious, clear as it says. Quran is not yasir as it says. لَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الذِّكْرَ لَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِذِكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. No, they say it is not easy. Exactly, the Quran says the Quran is not easy for ignorant people, for evil people. For idol worshippers, they will not understand. There is a wall between them and the Quran. They say, yes, Quran is very difficult to understand. We cannot understand. The Quran says it is mubin. God made it mubin. No, it's not mubin. Our alim says the Quran is not mubin. You need to read all these sciences and stuff, go through all these volumes of hadith. Not only that, hadith, usulul hadith and usulul fiqh, so that you may understand a little bit. Basically, they added volumes of contradictory false teachings to the Quran, and they made it so impossible to understand. They distorted the meaning, create full of contradiction, mazes and stuff, and therefore people give up and they become dependent to these ignorant religious merchants, scholars, clergymen in the name of God. And therefore, Bukhari says he collected these 7,275 hadiths from 600,000 hadiths. Let's do mathematics, simple elementary school mathematics, and I hope you can see it. 600,000. This is his own confession, his own in the beginning of Bukhari. He brags about it. In fact, he says, oh, 1 month he traveled. He heard about someone that has some hadith that he didn't know. He's so devoted to this business of collecting hadith. He goes 1 month, and then he finds a guy, and he's cheating his horse. How he cheats his horse? Basically, he shows the empty hand, pretending there is some food for the horse, some hay. Horse thinks there is hay, and then comes to the guy. If this guy can cheat his horse, he can cheat me too. He likens himself to the horse. Therefore, he stops accepting hadith from that guy. He tells that he's so meticulous. And then before even writing any hadith, he takes ablution and then prays 2-unit prayer. These are all propaganda, advertisement of his lies. Incredible. And people believe in this. Who cares? What less? Why I should care about this? I look at the product. What is 600,000? Let's write down. 600,000 hadith. divide by, let's say, every day he did one hadith, not every month. Let's say it was an anomaly. Usually in one day he traveled or waited for the guy to come. He interviewed him. He listened to the long chain of narrators, because 230 years after Prophet, or 200 years after Prophet, at least 8-9 generations passed from Ibn Falan, from Abu Falan. Right. Seriously, heard from this, heard from that stuff. And then let's say one day, and therefore how many years it would take to listen, collect, gather, sort, analyze, do the jah and ta'dil. Jah means reject, ta'dil means says this is reliable, kind of rich, and then record it. And let's say divide by 365, and how many years? Wow, it will be 1,643 years he would need to really have this Bukhari, collect 7,000 out of these 600,000 hadiths, in order to collect, analyze 600,000 hadiths, and trash about more than 98% of it, all as lies, and get about a little bit more than 1% of it, which is 7,275. And you will say, well, Bukhari was so efficient. It was very fast, miraculously fast, the most hardworking guy. Therefore, one hadith per day is too little for such a guy. Though despite his bragging about 1 month walking, going around or riding to collect one hadith and failing that one, imagine. We forget about that lie. Now we look at this, well, okay, no problem. Let's make it 10 hadiths. 10 different people or people come in, they each narrate, and he has to analyze how he analyzes, how he does the character evaluation of each narrator, correct? About 200 years or 100 years ago, this guy, Ibn Falan, he must be a good guy. How does he know? There are different, all these hundreds of different names. Anyway, let's swallow all these. Like, okay, let's say 10 hadiths. Therefore, divide by 10. How many years? Of course, it is move to the left, and it is 164 years he needs to live. And if he works 1 hour, let's say for each hadith, 10 hours a day, he works 10 hours a day. Of course, they didn't have lamps and stuff. Let's say under candle, short nights, short days, he would have longer nights. Wow. This Beagle's lie. Mathematics prove this with his own connection. Anyway, he has so much contradiction in this Bukhari. Now, let's forget about Bukhari, all of them, and we are going to check AQL. How many word AQL mentioned in this? 129. In all these books, 6 hadith books, volumes, more than 10 times the volume of the Quran. Now, these thousands of hadiths, there are only 129 of them. You know, Quran has 49. Multiply by 10, if it was, the frequency was parallel to Quran, it would be about 490. Okay, this is much less, the frequency of the word aql, but here is the problem. The word aql, in more than 90%, has nothing to do with the reason, with reflection, with using logic. Watch. Let's look at the word aql. Here it is. I don't know why it didn't create, here is aql. This is aql. Let me put aql in color. Aha! You see, these are aql. What has to do? Blood money. It has nothing to do with reasoning. It is about blood money. This is what? This is Zimmi is half a Muslim. It is about authoritative grandfather, Dia and Zimmi, Dia of Ummah. Dia means blood money. Dia. This Dia. Blood money. This is about blood money. Has nothing to do. Aql, you repeat it. You know, 100, how many times now? 185 of them we are checking in this page, because 100 of them here, there are 129 here anyway. These are repetitions. Blood money, blood money, blood money, blood money. Let me check how many blood money we have here. Blood money. In the, I got 76 before, now I'm getting 80. Why? There is something wrong. Oh, okay, maybe I go back here. Okay. Blood money. You see, here it is. Blood money, blood money, blood money, blood money. All the word aql is translated as blood money. It is in that meaning. Has nothing to do with reasoning, about blood money. And then what else? It is about getting water. Aql. To, aql. To water. To take water. From well, from bucket. Okay. And what else we have? Tying. Tie. Tying ropes. Aqal. Aqalu. Fi aqliya. Or tether. 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 Yes, it is tethering the camel. Tying the camel. Aql. In fact, the root is there, but in the Quran never used in that context. It's all about tying the premises to each other, reaching to a valid and conclusion, hopefully to a sound argument. Now, what else? Now, let's see how many reasons we have. Reason. 6. Let's see what is it. I did not see more defective in respect of reason and religion than the wise of you. A woman asked, what is the defect of reason and religion? He replied, the defect of reason is the testimony of 2 women. Absolutely wrong. The testimony of 2 women, 1 woman is equal to 1 man in all the testimony in the Quran, with the exception of financial dealing. There is a reason for that. It is only in that area, but in all other testimonies, let's say about committing a crime or other things, is always equal. And it has nothing to do with the defect in reason. It is about their general kind of experience, expertise in the area. Anyway, this is again about bashing women. Therefore, the word reason is used in the context or lack of reason about women. You would get happy. You would say, well, the reason about when the aql should be used to be promoted, that why don't you reason? Why don't you reflect? Here it is about to degrade women, to bash women. The lack of discernment is the fact that testimony to women know. What a shame. Okay. And let's see intellect. Intelligence. Look, men of their intelligence upon the woman ask, what is deficiency in our wisdom? Again, as you see, it is about woman's intelligence, which is negative. There's no really positive promoting everyone to reason and stuff. When the word aql used, mostly for blood money is used, sometimes for getting water and stuff, and or tying the camel. In few places when it is used for reason, it is to bash women, most of the case. Look at this. And this is Kutub al-Sitta, 6 hadith book. Abu Huraira, the enemy of Prophet Muhammad, who is liar. According to very hadith, Abu Huraira was kicked out by Umar bin Khattab. You are making the Mishnah of these ummah. You are making lies, get out. And according to Aisha, he was a liar. When Aisha became a leader, This is from Hadith book, whether you believe it or not, but see the contradiction. And then Abu Huraira makes up hadith about women. When Aisha is leader, Abu Huraira doesn't like Aisha. He says, Prophet Muhammad told us any community, any group who elects a woman as their leader, they are going to lose in that sense. Okay, again, bashing woman. The inlet is located in the heart. Oh, mercy is located in the liver. Look at this. How scientific. Mercy is located in the liver. Compassion is located in the spleen. The self is located in the lungs. God, absolutely wrong. Self is located in the brain. God says when someone sleeps or dies, the self goes away. Self is consciousness. It is in the mind. Anyway, mercy is located in the liver. You read it for fun. It is unbelievable. I say fun, unfortunately. There are so much blasphemy and insults to Prophet Muhammad, stoning to death, or Muhammad gouging people's eyes with hot nails, or killing women, poet who criticize him, sending killers, murderers to assassinate her while she's sleeping in her bed. All these incredible, or Muhammad being sexual maniac, the power of 30 men, 30 male, and he has 9 wives, according to them. 9 wives, and the power of super sexual men, with the power of how many men? 30 male. And 9 subtract from 30, you end up with 21 male in Muhammad who is not satisfied. This is incredible. According to these hadiths, Sahaba was peaking, was what's called? They were basically secretly following his sexual life, and they didn't respect his privacy. And one Sahaba all night stood awake and watched him. In one night, Muhammad supposedly visited all his 9 wives and had sex with all of them. This is in hadith. Your holy hadith, authentic hadith. Shame on you. You have no honor. You have no shame that you accuse us for not loving or respecting Muhammad. Your book is full of insult to the honor of Muhammad, to his good character. In fact, you turn Muhammad to an idiot because according to your own books, you distorted the meaning of ummi, means Gentile, not reading, following the Old and New Testament, not being a Christian or Jew, a Gentile. But you distorted your whole ulama with ijma all together. They had consensus to distort the meaning of this Gentile ummi, turn it to illiterate. And supposedly Muhammad was illiterate, though he was an international merchant. He was not able to read and write. And then even he kept that illiteracy until he died. Means in 23 years, supposedly, according to them, he dictate the Quran, but he's not able to learn 28 simple letters. I can teach reading Arabic to children, not old people who lose their minds, but for any normal person with normal intelligence, it will take me 2 hours. 2 hours I can teach you how to read Arabic. I'm a good teacher. I know pedagogy. I know how to teach. I have thought. But if you go to so-called schools, madrasas and stuff, they cannot even teach children in 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks. It takes them whole summer to read because they do all the wrong things so that they will not learn easily. The worst pedagogy ever. Now, okay, this guy, and according to that, Muhammad did not learn until he died In 23 years, 28 letters. Okay, what else? Well, let's see wisdom. You check it. Do you see can you compare to the Quran? Again, it is all these things. How many? Now, let's go to this extra page. There's the second page. Let's see what is there. Just randomly, let's look at this verse. Here is AQL, but oh my God, look at this. Salim, this was narrated from Aisha that Salim, the freed slave of Abu Hudayfa, was with Abu Hudayfa and his family in their house. The daughter of Sahel came to Prophet and said, Salim has reached the age of manhood and understands what men understand. You see, Aql understanding here is about basically sex. He came to the age of puberty. He understands what a man understands. This is the Aql, the closest Aql we got. Unbelievable. He enters upon us, and I think that Abu Hudayfa is not happy about that. The Prophet said, breastfeed him. This boy now is aware of sex. He has all hormones. And suppose the Prophet tells this woman to breastfeed this kid who just became a man. And you will become unlawful to him. So she breastfed him. And the displeasure of Abu Hudayfa disappeared. She came back to him and said, I breastfed him, and the displeasure of Abu Hudayfa has disappeared. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? This is crazy. But this is their hadith. Let's see what else we have here. This is just gem, treasure of stupidity and lies. Of course, there are a few nice things Satan inserted. Toxic material is not just served as a toxic, ugly looking, or put it on it, this is lie, this is bad, this is evil. No, it is covered with some candies, some wrap, colorful stuff. You will find some nice hadith, common sense. You can find better words in Chinese proverbs, most likely, or in any country's proverbs. And few kind of commonsensical, normal words, not really much wisdom in it, but for their sake, they indulge in this. They get all these incredible, horrible teachings. Whoever drinks khamr and puts in his belly, Allah will not accept salah forever. That was as Abu Salam, who said, Rabbi told me, cause him to lose a little intelligence and forget some. Okay, this is about intelligence. Again, losing. Aql. Have you cupped on Monday? Cupping. This is getting some blood. They have few cures, cupping, leeching, or few things, basically. It's cultural stuff. They make religion out of this. Even drink camel's urine. Camel's urine is a healing. In fact, it is in the Hadith, Bukhari, Urayna and Uqayla tribes, and in that Hadith, supposedly Prophet advises those people from Urayna and Uqayla, they say we are sick, advise them to go to where the cattle and sheep are, a little bit further, and go drink the urine of the camel and the milk and the urine of the camel. And they go there, according to the news, they kill the shepherd. And then suppose the Prophet Muhammad sent people after them and they catch them. And Prophet Muhammad goes there and sees them, orders to chop their arms and legs, and then gouges their eyes with hot nails and kills them. And they are, according to Hadith, they were dying of thirst, wanting water. And suppose the Prophet Muhammad, who is mercy for the humanity, stops them from giving them water while they were dying. And this is attributed to Muhammad, these lies. and camel urine. And then they say, yes, there is curing camel urine. Look, there are some journal articles. And they show. Some of them are English. Well, if it is English, then it is scientific. Well, if you study, if you look at them, you find that so-called scientists, they are all paid by Saudi Arabia. Usually, there are few Arabs there from United Arab Emirates or from Saudi Arabia, and all paid handsomely by them in order to promote these lies. Oh, urine is good. Drinking camel's urine is good. But you look at those articles, so-called scientific articles, you will find out they are all fake articles. Anyway, I'm tired. That's enough. Let's go back to our thing. Okay. What we did, we compared the word AQL in the Quran 49 times mentioned. It is reasoning, promotion of reason, always reason. If you don't reason, you will be basically condemned to evil and hell in this worldly life and in hereafter. But in Hadith, it is mostly regarding, it is using meaning blood money. If someone kills someone, he's basically sentenced to pay for the blood of the person to the family of the murdered. And usually for that, or for tying camel to something, or for getting water, or for the mind, for the intellectual faculty of women being below man. And these are all fabricated by men. Look at throughout history, the worst people are men, from Pharaoh to Qarun to Haman, from Hitler to Stalin to Bush to Donald Trump to Erdogan to Modi to Netanyahu to Boris. And look at the murderers in the prison, the biggest thieves in the world, the bankers and billionaires and murderers, most of them, and the religious popes, imams, mullahs, the biggest liars in the world, cheaters in the world. 99% of the criminals on earth, they are men, they have been men, and guess what? Women are the ones who are the worst, and half or more than half of the hell will be filled by women according to those hadiths. May God help you. And if you are following these fabricated hadiths, you are unfortunately, you have betrayed your mind, your honor, and your God, your creator, and Muhammad at the same time. In the day of judgment, Muhammad will intercede, the only intercession. That intercession will not be a mythological saving you. In fact, it will be complaint about you. وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا. Chapter 30 verse 25, I believe. No, chapter 25 verse 30. I apologize. I somehow reversed. I got tired. And the messenger will say, "Oh God, in the day of judgment, my people have deserted the Quran." And the true superlative hadith, I won't just end it, but I will not go. I have a video. Please watch that one. The most superlative three hadiths are trashed by the very people who promote hadith. Sunnis, they invite you to hadith. You ask them, what about the most important, the most authentic, the most latest hadith? What is the most mutawatir hadith, most authentic? Well, do not write anything from me besides the Quran. Well, you trash that one. You made up another hadith, a hadith, and then you trash the most mutawatir hadith, means supposedly narrated by so many people, you cannot doubt about its authenticity. Yes, your most authentic hadith, my dear Sunni brother or sister, is what? Is trashed by you. You don't follow that one. If you follow that one, you trash all these hadith books, because it says, do not write anything from me besides the Quran. Whoever has written it should delete it. فَمَنْ كَتَبَهُ فَلْيَمْحُ لَا تَكْتُبْ عَنِّي شَيْئًا سُوَى الْقُرْآنِ فَمَنْ كَتَبَهُ فَلْيَمْحُهُ. This is not what I believe. This is in your book. And according to your own hadith alims, ulama, zulama, is the most authentic hadith. And You don't follow your own most authentic hadith. And then another hadith, Hujjat al-Wada, the most heard hadith in one time. Of the mutawatir in different times, many different people, different narrators. But at one time, the most heard, listened hadith is Hujjat al-Wada, the last sermon. Makes sense, though the number is highly exaggerated. Some, according to some version, 80,000 Sahaba, means Prophet Muhammad's comrades, friends, listened to it. Let's say 10,000, still a huge number. I don't know how they heard him. There were no loudspeakers that time, correct? When they make up lies, they don't think about other, like Bukhari, 600,000. But when you calculate the time for it, it's impossible. They make up just lies. They are stupid. If you make up lies, at least a little bit do calculations. Okay, let's say 10,000 heard it. Maybe Muhammad said it and everyone repeated it, something like that. You can make up stories. And the most important portion of that is distorted in 3 different versions. I leave you the Quran, follow the Quran. It is the most repeated narration in hadith books. But there is another version says, I left you the Quran and Sunnati, which contradicts the Quran, because according to the Quran, only Sunnatullah, Sunnatullah. It is God's law that we should follow. But here, Sunnatu Muhammad. In spite of the Quran, they make up this. And then another version of it, I leave you the Quran and Ahl Bayti and my relatives. It is Shiites. You don't need to be too smart to understand. Well, the original version was, I left you Quran, follow the Quran, exactly like the verse, chapter 6, verse 19. I'm giving this Quran to deliver to you and to people after you, the Quran alone. But Sunnis, they added Sunnah to Quran, and then Shiites, they added Ahl Bayt to Quran. Simple. And then the third superlative hadith, the last hadith, while Prophet Muhammad was in his deathbed. That's interesting. That's another big lie. Big lie means it contradicts to the whole hadith. If it is true, you have to trash all hadith. If it is lie, why this lie in those so-called authentic hadith books? Suppose the Prophet Muhammad was in his deathbed, says, bring me a paper pen. And therefore they call it hadith al-qurtas, paper. The word paper is keyword there. Therefore they call it the hadith of paper hadith. Bring me pen and paper so that I will write for you something so that you will not be diverted after me. And one Sahaba, according to hadith, rushes to bring paper and pen so that Muhammad, before his death, writes something important for them. And then Umar, according to hadith, Umar bin Khattab there, other important like Abu Bakr there, Umar, Osman, and other prominent Sahaba there. And Umar says, no, don't bring paper and pen. He is sick, he has fever, he doesn't know what he's saying. Prophet doesn't know what he's saying. Hasbuna kitabullah. This is according to your own hadith. And one of the most important hadiths because the last hadith. And become khabar. Well, hadith, Prophet Muhammad, according to that, said something. And then says, no, God's book is sufficient for us. Hasbuna kitabullah. These words uttered according to hadith by Umar bin Khattab and all other prominent Sahaba accepted this, and they didn't allow Prophet Muhammad to write anything before his death. Of course, Shiite exploiters, they say he would write that Ali is after me and stuff. They make up another lie. This is incredible. 3 hadiths, the most superlative hadiths. I want to finish it before 1 hour. The most superlative 3 hadiths, you trash all the 3. And then you invite us to this nonsense. Peace. I'm going to turn it off.